Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that in just 4 days or less, you could attract large sums of money into your life? No waiting years, no endless struggle, but real, visible breakthrough. This isn't theory. It's a proven path people just like you have walked. And today, I'm revealing the secret step by step. Stay with me, because your next 4 days can change everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And comment one word, abundance. Also, subscribe to my other channel, link in the bio, and watch my video titled, A Woman with No Friend. It will touch your heart. What if I told you that within just 4 days, your financial reality could completely shift? That money you thought was delayed could suddenly find... The truth is, money doesn't move by accident. It responds to principles. And the first principle is changing how you see it. Every financial breakthrough begins not in your hands, but in your head. The reason so many people never see large sums of money is because their mindset repels it before it even arrives. Money is energy, and it flows toward clarity, confidence, and expectancy. If your inner conversation about money is full of scarcity, fear, and disbelief, then no matter how hard you work, you will struggle to keep it, let alone attract it. Think about it. If you constantly say money is hard to come by, I never have enough. People like me don't get lucky breaks. You are programming your subconscious to reject opportunities. Even when money is near, you won't recognize it because your mind is blinded by lack. Your beliefs form a filter through which you interpret reality. So if you believe money is scarce, your brain automatically focuses on evidence to confirm that belief, bills piling up, accounts running low, unexpected expenses. This cycle of scarcity is what keeps many trapped. But the moment you flip that belief, everything changes. Begin telling yourself, money comes to me easily. I am worthy of wealth. Abundance is my natural state. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, even untrue. But repetition reshapes your inner world. And once your inner world aligns with abundance, the outer world begins to shift. You start noticing possibilities, seizing opportunities, and drawing in resources that were invisible before. Let me give you a story. There was a woman who had struggled financially for years. She worked tirelessly, but never had enough left over to save. One day, she decided to challenge her inner script. Instead of saying, I'm always broke, she began declaring, money flows to me in surprising ways. Within days, she received an unexpected refund from a company she had forgotten about. Then, a friend repaid a debt she never expected back. Was this magic? No, it was alignment. The money was always there, but her shift in mindset allowed her to attract it, expect it, and recognize it when it appeared. Your mind is like a magnet. What you dwell on, you draw in. Science backs this up too. Psychologists call it the reticular activating system, RASAS. This is the part of your brain that filters information based on what you believe is important. Ever notice how when you buy a new car, you suddenly see that same car everywhere? That's your RAS at work. In the same way, when you focus on abundance, your brain becomes wired to spot opportunities for money that you would otherwise ignore. So here's your first assignment. If you want to attract large sums in 4 days or less, clean up your inner language about money. For the next 4 days, refuse to say anything negative about your finances. Instead, every morning, speak declarations like, money is drawn to me. I live in overflow. Unexpected wealth comes my way. Do this consistently and watch how your awareness sharpens. Maybe you'll recall a skill you can monetize. Maybe someone will offer you a gig. Maybe you'll notice an avenue for income you ignored before. This is not coincidence. It is the result of a shifted mindset. But remember, the money you attract cannot exceed the value you believe you deserve. If you secretly feel unworthy of wealth, you will unconsciously sabotage it. That's why shifting your money mindset is more than just repeating affirmations. It's about embracing the truth that you were created for abundance, not lack. Scarcity is not spiritual. Struggle is not noble. Provision is your portion. When you fully internalize this truth, large sums no longer feel foreign. They feel natural. So the first key to attracting large sums in 4 days or less is not hustling harder, or working more hours, or even stumbling on a miracle. It is changing the atmosphere of your mind. Because once your thinking aligns with wealth, the flow of money has no choice but to follow. Once your mindset shifts, the doors of abundance begin to open. But to attract large sums in just 4 days or less, you must do more than just think differently. You must activate a spiritual law that governs wealth. This law is older than time itself, and it never fails. Expectation is a magnet. What you truly expect deep in your heart and mind will eventually show up in your life. Too often, people confuse hoping for money with expecting it. Hope says, I wish something would happen. Expectation says, I know it's already on the way. And the energy between those two statements is the difference between delay and breakthrough. When you expect something, your behavior, your posture, and your choices change automatically. Imagine you order a package online. You don't hope it will come. You expect it. You start checking the door, maybe even tracking the shipment. You might even rearrange your day to be home when it arrives. Why? Because expectation creates anticipation. The same principle applies with money. If you want large sums to show up quickly, you must live as though they are already en route. Let me illustrate this with a story. A man once decided he was tired of barely surviving. He shifted his mindset and then wrote down a specific expectation. Within the next 4 days, I will receive $2,000 in unexpected income. Instead of doubting, he began preparing as though it was certain. He set aside a portion of that expected money for savings. He even listed ways he would use it productively. On the 3rd day, a company he had worked for years ago reached out, informing him they had discovered unpaid commissions in his favor, worth almost exactly the amount he had written down. Coincidence? Number his expectation aligned his mind and actions with the flow of provision. Expectation operates in the unseen before it shows up. In the scene, psychologists confirm that expectation shapes outcomes. This is known as the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you expect rejection, you subconsciously act in ways that invite rejection. If you expect favor, you unconsciously project confidence that draws people toward you. Expectation is not wishful thinking. It is a creative force. Here's where most people go wrong. They declare abundance with their lips, but secretly expect lack in their hearts. They say, money will come. But deep down, they brace themselves for disappointment. That inner conflict cancels out the attraction. To truly attract large sums in 4 days or less, your declaration and your expectation must agree. Here's a practical way to build expectation. Visualization. Every morning for the next 4 days, close your eyes and picture yourself receiving the amount you desire. See the message on your phone saying payment received. Hear the alert of a bank deposit. Imagine yourself holding that cash in your hands. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude. Your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It reacts the same way. This mental rehearsal builds expectations so strong that when the real money comes, it feels like you've already lived it. But expectation is not passive. It demands preparation. If you truly expect money in the next 4 days, then create space for it. Open a separate account if you have to. Write down exactly how you will use it. Decide what portion you will save, invest, or give. This preparation is a signal of faith. It's like setting the table before the meal arrives. Expectation also requires gratitude before the manifestation. Thank God in advance as if it's already done. Gratitude fuels expectation and speeds up manifestation. Instead of saying, I hope I get money, begin saying, Thank you for the money that is already on its way to me. Gratitude shifts your frequency from lack to fulfillment. Think of farmers. They plant seeds not with hope, but with expectation. They till the soil, water the ground, and prepare storage barns. Not because they wish for a harvest, but because they expect one. In the same way, your words, actions, and attitude must mirror your expectation. So the second key to attracting large sums in 4 days or less is this. Don't just think abundance, expect it. Expectation sharpens your awareness, attracts resources, aligns your energy, and prepares your life for sudden increase. When your mindset is set on abundance and your expectation is activated, money no longer feels like a stranger. It feels like a guest you've been preparing for. Mindset opens the door. Expectation keeps it open. But if you really want money to show up in 4 days or less, you must release an action that activates the flow. Faith without action is like a locked vault. It exists, but it can't bless you until the key is turned. There is a universal principle that governs increase. Whatever you release multiplies back to you. You cannot expect large sums if you are unwilling to let go of what you already have. This is why some people wait for money but never see it. They hold tightly to the little they have, and in doing so, block the pipeline of abundance. To attract large sums quickly, you must release a seed. Think of it this way. A farmer can have the richest soil and the best weather, but if he never plants a seed, he will never see a harvest. The seed activates the law of multiplication. Your finances operate under the same principle. When you release, whether it's money, time, or even resources, you signal to the universe and to God that you are ready for overflow. Let me share a story. A man was in desperate need of financial breakthrough. He had bills stacking up and only $50 left in his account. Instead of clinging to fear, he made a bold decision. He gave that $50 to someone who needed it more than him. It made no sense logically, but it was a seed. Within 2 days, he was called for a contract he had applied for weeks before, and the first installment was 10 times what he gave away. His small release triggered a flow far beyond what he could have imagined. Releasing a seed doesn't always mean giving money away blindly. It's about intentional giving with faith and purpose. When you sow into someone else's need, you open the door for your own need to be met. When you invest your time in helping someone, you make room for multiplied time and opportunity to return to you. It's not loss, it's leverage. Even science affirms this principle. Studies in positive psychology show that generosity boosts well-being, sharpens focus, and opens networks of connection. People who give are often introduced to opportunities simply because generosity attracts relationships, and relationships are channels of resources. Here's the mistake most people make. They wait to have more before they release a seed. But the seed is never taken from abundance. It's planted in sacrifice. Farmers don't wait until they have a barn full of crops before sowing. They plant out of the little they have. That's what produces the harvest. So here's a practical step. Choose a seed to release within the next 24 hours. It could be money, even if small. It could be a gift to someone in need. It could be an investment in your growth, like buying a book, a course, or a tool. The key is to release something meaningful enough to require faith. This act breaks the grip of scarcity and activates the law of multiplication. But understand this. Giving without expectation is just charity. Giving with faith is sowing. When you release your seed, attach a clear expectation to it. Speak over it. This seed will return to me multiplied. I expect overflow in 4 days or less. Just as a farmer waters the ground, you water your seed with words of faith. Another important element, release your seed with joy. Not fear. If you give with regret, you choke the harvest. Joyful giving is a sign of trust. It declares, I have more coming, so I can freely release what's in my hand. This attitude accelerates return. Think of your financial life like a river. If the water gets stuck at one point, it becomes stagnant. Releasing a seed is like clearing the block, allowing the current to flow again. Stagnation turns into circulation, and circulation brings multiplication. So the third key to attracting large sums in 4 days or less is this. Release something. Don't wait for money to fall from the sky. Prime the flow by putting something into the soil. When you give, you create space. And when you create space, abundance rushes in to fill it. Your mindset prepares you, your expectation positions you, and your seed activates the flow. But if your words don't align with your actions, you can undo everything. Words are not harmless. They are containers of power. They can either attract wealth into your life or repel it instantly. The words you speak are like spiritual contracts. Every declaration you make about money sets an agreement in motion, either for abundance or for lack. Most people sabotage their own financial future, not by their effort, but by their language. They say things like, "I'm always broke. I can't afford that. Money just slips away from me. Nothing ever works out." Each of these statements is a seed, and when repeated, it grows into a harvest of financial frustration. Why? Because words carry energy? Neuroscientists have shown that spoken words shape the brain's pathways. When you continually speak negatively, your brain wires itself to interpret the world through scarcity. In contrast, when you speak abundance, you reprogram your subconscious to recognize wealth, expect opportunities, and move with confidence. Think of words like instructions to your mind and your environment. If you keep telling yourself, "I never have enough," your subconscious finds ways to confirm that belief. Missed chances, poor decisions, wasted resources. But if you begin saying, "I always attract more than enough," your subconscious goes to work, scanning for ways to fulfill that statement. Let me illustrate with a real example. A young entrepreneur once struggled to close deals. Every time he was about to meet a client, he muttered under his breath, "They probably won't buy anyway." Guess what? His energy, tone, and body language carried that doubt, and the client sensed it. But when he began affirming before each meeting, "This deal is already mine. I bring value that people need. Money flows through this conversation." Everything shifted within weeks. His close rate tripled. The only change was his words. Here's the truth. Your tongue is either a magnet or a repellent for money. Proverbs says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. That means every financial destiny is shaped in part by what you consistently speak. If you want large sums in 4 days or less, your words must be laser, focused on abundance. Here's a practical challenge. For the next 4 days, eliminate every negative money confession. Catch yourself before saying, "I'm broke," or "I can't afford this." Replace those with empowering declarations such as, "Money comes to me quickly and easily. I am a magnet for financial increase. Every day, I attract new streams of income." Say them in the morning, throughout the day. And before you sleep, speak them until they sink so deeply into your subconscious that they become second nature. But don't stop at general statements. Get specific. If you're believing for a certain amount in the next 4 days, declare it boldly. "I will receive insert amount by insert date." It will come in surprising and easy ways. Specific declarations sharpen your expectation and give your subconscious a target. Some might say, "But isn't that lying? I don't have the money yet." No, faith is not lying. It is speaking from the reality you desire until it becomes the reality you experience. Your words are not describing your current state. They are creating your future state. Think about a GPS system. You don't tell it where you already are. It already knows that. You tell it where you're going. Your words are your spiritual GPS. They don't report your present. They set your destination. Here's another layer. Speak abundance, not just about yourself, but also about others. When you bless someone else with your words, I declare increase over your life. Doors will open for you. Favor will find you. You're sowing verbal seeds that return to you multiplied. Money flows best in an atmosphere of generosity, and generous words are part of that flow. But beware, inconsistency kills results. You cannot speak abundance in the morning and then curse your finances in frustration by night. That's like planting seeds in the soil and then digging them up every evening. Consistency is what allows your words to take root and bear fruit. So, the fourth key to attracting large sums in 4 days or less is to discipline your tongue. Make your words agree with your mindset, your expectation, and your seed. Let every sentence that leaves your lips be a magnet for wealth, because if your words and your actions contradict, you'll cancel your own harvest. But when your words align, money has no choice but to obey the law of attraction and flow in your direction. Your words set the direction, but your imagination accelerates the arrival. If you can see it clearly in your mind, you will hold it more quickly in your hands. This is not daydreaming. It's a spiritual and psychological law that wealthy people use every single day. Your mind cannot receive what it cannot picture. Visualization is one of the fastest ways to collapse time between desire and manifestation. When you imagine something vividly and consistently, your subconscious begins to accept it as reality. Once your inner world shifts, your outer world starts to line up. That's why athletes use visualization before big games. They see themselves making the perfect shot or crossing the finish line first. By the time they step into the real moment, their mind and body have rehearsed it so thoroughly that it feels natural. The same applies to attracting large sums of money. If you want a specific amount in 4 days or less, you must visualize it as though it already belongs to you. Close your eyes and see the deposit notification on your phone. Imagine logging to your account and seeing the balance you desire. Hear the sound of money being counted in your hands. Let yourself feel the joy, the security, the gratitude of already having it. The clearer and more emotional the picture, the stronger the magnet you create. There's a powerful story of a man who wanted to double his income. Every night, before going to bed, he visualized looking at his bank statement with the exact figure he desired. He would smile, whisper, "Thank you," and drift off to sleep in gratitude. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities began appearing. Clients he hadn't heard from in years, projects that had been delayed, suddenly reopening. Within 2 months, his income was exactly what he had been visualizing. He didn't stumble into it. He prepared his inner world until his outer world had no choice but to comply. Psychologists explain this using the reticular activating system, or as a part of the brain. That filters information. When you visualize repeatedly, your brain begins to treat that image as important. Suddenly, you notice opportunities, conversations, and ideas that were always around you but previously ignored. Visualization sharpens your focus so you stop missing doors of increase. But visualization is not just about daydreaming, it's about focused meditation. You must dedicate at least 5 minutes every morning and night for the next 4 days to lock in the picture of your financial increase. During that time, eliminate distractions, sit in silence, close your eyes, and bring the image of abundance into sharp detail. The more real it feels in your imagination, the faster it materializes in your reality. Here's a simple practice. Write the exact amount of money you want to receive in the next 4 days on a piece of paper. Place it somewhere you will see it often. Your wallet, mirror, or phone case. Each time you see it, pause and visualize yourself holding that money already. Smile as if it's real. Speak gratitude as if it's already done. This keeps your focus locked in and your expectations strong. Why is focus so critical? Because scattered energy produces scattered results. If you're thinking about abundance one moment and then worrying about build next. Next, your energy is divided. Visualization gathers your energy into one direction. It tells your mind and the universe, this is what I want. This is where I'm going. Nothing else. That level of focus accelerates manifestation. Another layer to this is emotional alignment. Visualization without emotion is weak. But when you infuse it with excitement, joy, and gratitude, you supercharge it. Emotion is fuel for manifestation. Think about the times you've wanted something so badly that you could almost taste it. You probably noticed it showed up faster than things you only casually wished for. So for the next 4 days, discipline yourself to visualize daily. Don't just see the money. See yourself using it wisely. Imagine paying off a bill, helping someone in need, or investing it in something fruitful. When your vision has purpose, it attracts provision even faster. Remember this. What you consistently picture, you eventually capture. Visualization aligns your mind, your focus, and your emotions with your financial desire. And when all three are aligned, the law of attraction has no resistance. So, the fifth key to attracting large sums in 4 days or less is to see it before you receive it. Train your inner eyes to hold the picture of abundance so firmly that your outer reality must mirror it. The clearer you see it, the quicker you'll seize it. You can shift your mindset, expect abundance, sow your seed, align your words, and visualize clearly. But if your life has no room to receive, the money will slip through your hands. Wealth doesn't flow into disorder. It flows into structure. Preparation is proof of expectation. When you truly believe that large sums of money are on their way to you, you don't just sit and wait, you prepare. Just like a farmer doesn't wait for rain before plowing the ground, you can't wait for money before making space to receive it. Preparation is faith in action, and it sends a signal to the universe that you are ready for overflow. Many people cancel their breakthrough because they never prepare. They pray for more money, but their finances are scattered. They ask for abundance, but they have no plan. They want increase, but they lack order. And when money does come, it leaves as quickly as it arrived, because there was no system to contain it. It's like pouring water into a cracked vessel. It can't hold what is given. Think about this if you knew for sure $10,000 would hit your account tomorrow. What would you do today? You would probably open a separate account, write a budget, or plan investments. You would make space for it. That is exactly how you must behave, even before the money arrives. Your preparation is proof that you expect abundance, and preparation attracts provision faster. Here's a story a woman once believed for a financial breakthrough. Instead of just hoping, she prepared. She created a savings account named Overflow. She listed in a notebook exactly how she would use the money wisely. One portion for savings, one for investment, one for generosity. Within a week, she received an inheritance she wasn't expecting. She was ready. While others may have squandered it, she multiplied it because preparation met opportunity. Practical preparation can look like this. Open a new account specifically for your increase. Even if there's nothing in it yet, it's a signal that you're ready. Write a spending plan for the exact amount you're believing for. Decide how much will go to bills, savings, investments, and giving. Clear financial clutter, organize bills, cancel unnecessary subscriptions, and take control of your existing money. Order attracts more position yourself legally and professionally. Update your payment methods, PayPal, or bank details. Sometimes money doesn't flow simply because you aren't ready to receive it. This principle applies beyond money. If you want a new car, clean your garage. If you want a bigger house, start decluttering. If you want clients, design the system to serve them. By preparing, you create a vacuum that abundance rushes in to fill. Even spiritually, preparation is a sign of faith. Gratitude says, "Thank you for what I have." Expectation says, "I know more is coming." But preparation says, "I'm already making room because I believe it's near." This combination is irresistible. Science supports this too. Studies show that people who plan their goals in detail are 42% more likely to achieve them. Why? Because preparation programs the subconscious mind to seek alignment with the desired outcome. When you write down how you'll use the money, your brain begins scanning for opportunities that match that plan. Suddenly, you find ways to cut expenses, create income, or notice offers you'd have missed before. But remember, preparation must be paired with discipline. If you ask for large sums but mishandle small ones, you're sending a signal that you're not ready. Preparation isn't about extravagance. It's about stewardship. Money doesn't just look for faith, it looks for order, and order multiplies wealth. So here's your challenge within the next 24 hours. Prepare a space for your financial increase. Write the exact amount you desire on paper. Create the plan for it. Open the account if needed. Clear space in your physical and financial world. Show with your actions that you're ready to hold what you've been visualizing. Because here's the truth. Abundance is attracted to order. When you prepare the ground, the seed can take root. When you build the container, the water can fill it. When you prepare your life, large sums can flow in without being wasted. So the sixth key to attracting large sums in 4 days or less is preparation. Don't wait for money to arrive before making room for it. Make room now and watch how quickly provision shows up to fill the space you've created.